Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Caleb Thornton and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at and talking about a mouse from Razer, which is called the Deathadder V2 Mini, a smaller version of the really popular mouse, the Deathadder. If you guys want to check out Razer's other mini offering, which is the Viper Mini, I'll leave a link down in the description below to where I did a video review of that one if you just want to check that video out as well. But as always, stick around here about the build quality, performance, features, and whether this mouse is going to be right for you. You can find the Deathadder Mini on either Razer's or Amazon's website for just $50, which is a pretty good price. And out of the box, besides getting the mouse and your SpeedFlex cable, you'll also get an instruction pamphlet as well as some Razer stickers, and also a nice inclusion is some grips. Moving on to weight and build quality on this Razer Deathadder Mini, it only comes in at 62 grams, so lightweight, definitely very similar in weight to the Razer Viper Mini. As far as panel and build quality integrity it goes, very solid, little to basically no flex on any of the side panels. Really solid built overall. Again, it does come with Razer's SpeedFlex cable, and I don't know why, but this one just seems to be the worst out of the bunch of the SpeedFlex cables I've gotten. Even when I'm holding pretty stinking far back on that cable, it's still moving the mouse a lot. Obviously though, it's due to the form factor of the mouse being lightweight. It doesn't help either, but overall the cable's not that great and pretty stiff and not very flexible. It does help though if you throw it up in a bungee. You get the same matte black finish over the entire mouse, which is very similar to Razer's other offerings as far as texture goes. Kind of has the feeling of a PVT keycap if you know what that feels like. Overall, a little bit slippery, and if it bothers you, obviously, you get those nice included grips, so you can slap those on the sides for extra grip. Moving on to the shape and how it feels in your hands, it's gonna be a big one here, and this is coming from someone that loves the Deathadder shape and its full normal size. I use it as my daily main driver mouse for productivity use to gaming. I love the shape of the normal Deathadder, so I'm not trying to hate on it when I say I do not like the shape of this. It just does not seem right. I just don't think the Deathadder shape should have ever been brought down to a smaller form factor. It's weird. It's not like it's a bad shape, because obviously I love the shape of the Deathadder, but as it got shrunk down here, it's too small for me, and it only gets me into that fingertip grip, and with the still you get those aggressive curves on the side, it only allows you to be able to get into one position, and that one position for me is fingertip. I can't get into a claw on it, and obviously not even close to a palm here. Even the Viper Mini, like I thought it would be pretty similar to that as far as how it would feel in my hand, obviously a little bit different being more of an ergonomic shape, but the Viper Mini even feels way bigger to me than the Deathadder does. So if you have medium to bigger hands, just make sure that you like using fingertip grip. Personally for me, I don't like fingertip grip style in the first place, and then using it on an ergonomic right-handed mouse only, it feels weird, not an ambi-shaped mouse like the Viper Mini is. So just make sure that you like using that grip style. The only way I would say this is gonna work, because it feels like the thing is made for kids. It feels like a kid mouse with how tiny it is in my hand. Would say if you have smaller hands, I would say this is probably gonna be the only way this mouse will be good for you, just because it allows you to maybe venture out into using some different grip styles like claw and maybe possibly a palm style grip. If I had to sum up the shape, I would just say make sure you either have smaller hands, or if you do have bigger hands, just make sure you like the feeling of fingertip grip also on a right-handed ergonomic mouse. I just feel they missed the point here with the shape of it. I feel like it just missed the mark a bit. You get 6 different programmable buttons on the Deathadder Mini, and it's also using Razer's optical switches, so no worry about debounce or double clicking issues with it. Before we talk any more about them, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw a sound test up for you guys now. As you guys can hear from that sound test, nice clicky so far, been really responsive for me. I mean, of course, very similar to the other Razer mice I've used so far. You kind of get those same really big grooves in the clicks on your mouse 1 and 2, similar to the full-size Deathadder, and they kind of sit your fingers right into that spot, which does feel nice, of course, though, with the shape being the way it is. Not a huge fan of the shape overall, but I mean, you still get a lot of the characteristics that you do with the bigger Deathadder. Similar with a lot of other Razer mice I've used with their optical switches, very little to no pre-travel, but there's a decent amount of post-travel on those clicks, and I'll try to get some close-ups of that for you guys to see as well. Nothing horrible. Post-travel doesn't usually bother me. I just like to point it out so you guys know what you're getting if you decide to purchase the mouse itself. As far as side buttons go, I really love the side buttons on this just because they're bigger, a little more width and size to them overall compared to a lot of the other smaller mice as well. Like the Viper Mini also has a little bit smaller side buttons, which I have sitting right next to me here. So I'm glad they took that characteristic from the bigger Deathadder, kind of kept those side buttons big and chunky, which I really like. Very easy to find with your thumb and use while you're gaming or for daily productivity use. far as the scroll wheel goes, it's pretty smooth. You definitely can feel the tactile bumps and you get a little bit of an audible noise, but nothing crazy loud. And then finally down below that, you just get your DPI button, which is gonna allow you, of course, to cycle between your preset stages within the Synapse software. Moving on to the bottom of the mouse, and super similar to the Viper Mini in the fact that it has 100% PTFE feet on it, which feel really nice. The only difference is there is a split in the middle one instead of just continuing it across. Not sure why they did that, but it doesn't continue all the way across in the front. Still though, really nice, smooth, consistent glide as you'd expect with that 100% PTFE. As far as the sensor goes itself, it is using the same exact sensor as the Viper Mini, which gives you a DPI adjustment all the way up to 8,500, so good amount of range there, should be able to accommodate almost anyone's needs. And as far as sensor goes, all my time using this one, all my time using the Viper Mini, super spot on pixel for pixel tracking, no spin outs, some super consistent sensor as you'd expect to find in today's age of mice. Overall, when looking at the Deathadder, it does seem like it would be a great choice as far as build quality, taking an iconic shape, just shrinking it down. Performance and features are all here. It's just the shape. It does not work for me personally. Again, if you had on the smaller side of hands, I would say this is going to be a big recommendation for you. As far as people with bigger hands or medium, even medium to bigger hands, I would say you're probably going to be restricted to fingertip grip, maybe a claw grip. For me personally, I can only get my fingertip in this, and the way the shape of the mouse feels overall with the fingertip grip, it just does not feel right for me. And overall, I don't like using a fingertip grip in the first place, so that doesn't help the case of it for me personally either. So again, just remember that it does give you nice features, but if you had to choose between the Viper Mini and the Deathadder V2 Mini, I would say Viper Mini hands down. As far as for me personally, I just think it offers more, and that ambi shape is a lot more well suited for getting into different grip styles overall. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found the video helpful or informative, please do hit that like button for me and consider subscribing for more content just like this in the very near future. If you have any questions about the mouse or my time or experience with it, definitely let me know down in the comments below, and I'll try my best to get back to you quickly and with the best response I can, and I'll see you guys in the next one.